If you've been following animation closely over the last few years, you've likely noticed a significant shift in its visual language. The smooth, polished look that once dominated the industry is being replaced by something more textured, more energetic, and more expressive. This isn't a random collection of styles. It's a specific movement in the industry with a specific name: hybrid animation. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what this style is, where it came from, and how it's defining the future of the artistic medium. For nearly 2 decades, the primary technical goal in mainstream 3D animation, led by Pixar, was photorealism. It was a technological arms race. With each new film, we saw more realistic fur, more realistic water, and lighting that was stunningly close to the real world. Pixar masterfully avoided the uncanny valley, first by focusing on toys and monsters, and later by creating stylized humans who existed in a hyper-realistic world. This approach established an incredibly high standard for quality, and its massive success forced the rest of the industry to follow suit. Success meant getting closer to reality. The major turning point was 2018's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This film wasn't just a deviation from the path, it was an explosion. The producers, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, came in with a radical philosophy. What if we made a 3D film that looked and felt like a 2D comic book pulled right off the page? Instead of hiding the medium's limitations, they celebrated them. Techniques like variable frame rates to create a stop-motion feel and print effects like Ben-Day dots and ink lines directly told the audience, you are watching a piece of art, not a simulation of reality. The film proved that a highly stylized, non-realistic look could be a massive critical and commercial success, and most importantly, it inspired an entire generation of artists who had grown tired of uniformity. Since Spider-Verse, this hybrid approach has been adopted and has evolved into several distinct branches. Perhaps the most mature and influential branch can be seen on television with Netflix's masterpiece, Arcane. The French studio Fortiche, which had a brilliant background in stylized music videos, used the style to create a painterly, dark aesthetic. Every frame of Arcane is meticulously lit and textured to feel like a classical painting in motion. This approach proved that hybrid animation could be a powerful tool for dramatic adult storytelling and forever raised the standard for animated series production. Meanwhile, DreamWorks used these techniques in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish to reinvent the action fairy tale genre. In a major surprise from the studio, the film showed they too could step out of their comfort zone. The bold use of a lower frame rate in its fight sequences gives every sword strike the feel of a brutal brushstroke on a canvas, perfectly capturing the feeling of a dangerous, living fairy tale. This rebellion against standards is also seen in stories like Nimona. The film, which was canceled by Disney and later saved by Netflix, has a unique visual style reminiscent of 2D concept art, which perfectly matches the rebellious and nonconformist spirit of its story. It's a prime example of how visual style can amplify a film's central theme. This flexibility is also evident in projects like K-pop Demon Hunters, which fuses the energy of anime with Western 3D structure, and The Mitchells vs. the Machines, which uses 2D effects to express the inner world and committed personality of its characters. This style is no longer just a choice, it's a powerful storytelling tool. So what does all of this mean for the future of the animation industry? First, we can expect far greater visual diversity. Studios are now incentivized to develop their own unique visual signature rather than conforming to a single standard. This means the end of imitation and the beginning of a new era of innovation. Second, this revolution is also being fueled by new technology. Open source tools like Blender and game engines like Unreal Engine are empowering smaller studios and independent artists to achieve stunning visual quality on a fraction of the budget. This democratization of tools means we'll be hearing more voices and seeing more styles from around the world. Third, this poses a strategic challenge to industry leaders like Disney and Pixar. Their next moves will indicate whether they plan to adopt this new visual language or continue to refine their established house style. It's a major strategic question for the former leaders of the industry. Looking ahead, we know that projects like the Spider-Verse sequel, Beyond the Spider-Verse, will likely push these boundaries even further. And we know that studios like Sony and DreamWorks have new projects in the pipeline that are expected to continue this visual philosophy. It will be fascinating to see what new innovations these studios bring to the movement. Ultimately, the rise of hybrid animation represents a profound philosophical shift. The industry is moving away from the question, how real can we make it, towards the question, how expressive can it be? This approach unlocks new doors of creativity and allows animators to use the full potential of this artistic medium.
This evolution, without a doubt, is making this one of the most exciting times in the modern history of animation.